Welcome back. So this is 5 things that we learned from the statement that Christopher Watts gave to the detectives and the FBI at the Dodge Correction Center that do not match the evidence that is known in this case. Now, for these 5 things, I'm not telling you anything new. I'm using evidence that is already in the discovery, that is in the videos of the police doing the canvass of the home, and evidence that is already known and proven in the court of law. These are 5 things that do not match his actual statements to them out of the 17 that we are currently looking at. Okay? So, number 1. Cece and Bella. He said in his statement to the detectives and the FBI that he used a blanket to suffocate the 2 girls. Let's just take that and set that aside for a second. Let's say he used his hand to pinch their noses and then cover their mouths, and then he used a blanket so he didn't have to see them. Maybe that's what he meant. All right? In that case, there is still no fibers found on the girls anywhere in their face, gums, lips, mouth, throat, lungs, no fibers at all. There is no transfer fibers, meaning hair or fibers from other items, like, if it was Cece's favorite blanket, and she, like he said, that she hauled around everywhere, she would have touched either a stuffed animal, a bed, something, and transferred a fiber from the blanket that way. There are no fibers from the actual blanket either. Now, you can go back through Shannon's social media post and all the pictures of the little girls. She always had a pink alpaca and cotton blend blanket that she hauled around everywhere with her. I'd say in just about every photo that I've seen, but there's no fiber transfer anywhere on her or on Bella. None. He didn't wash the bodies before he disposed of them, so there would have been some kind of fiber transferred somewhere on the body, but none were found anywhere. It's online. Look it up yourself. It's there. I'm telling you, it's there. There's no fibers at all. Second thing, number 2. He said that the morning of the actual attack and killing of his family, that he woke up, him and Shannon had a conversation. They had sex. They then fell back asleep. Shannon apparently redressed herself somewhere after having sex and put on the most uncomfortable women's undergarments known to man, and then went back to sleep. He then went downstairs after waking up in the morning, made breakfast for himself, ate, then went back upstairs, according to his own statement, had another conversation and fight with Shannon, got on top of her, straddled her with his, one leg on each side of her body, choked her to death, and she never fought back. Instead, she was praying and forgiving him for what he was doing. Forensically, evidence is there's no dishes in the sink, there's no dirty cup, no dirty bowl, no dirty plate. In the dishwasher, only items found in the dishwasher was 1 fork and 1 butter knife. Nothing to eat off of, no plate, nothing, no dirty dishes. What did he make for breakfast? Well, he didn't use the blender because the blender was not used, nor was it washed out or any sort at all. It wasn't a Thrive shake. Did he use the fork and the knife to cut up one of their nutrition bars and eat that? Maybe. but there's no evidence of it. Number 3, conflicting reports that he gave to the detectives the first time and the second time. He said that he originally used his arms around Shanann to choke her to death. Later, he changed that to he used her hands, his hands to choke her to death. The two statements don't match. Forensically, we know that Shanann didn't leave any defense wounds on him, and there has to be a reason behind that. Forensically, there has to be something there, somewhere, either a scratch, a bruise, something, unless she really truly was unable to defend herself from the fact that someone was killing her. I cannot logically, in my mind, this is my own opinion here, I cannot logically, in my own mind, come up with a reason why she would not try to defend herself from a man who was straddling her and choking her unless she was completely enabled and unable to. And I'll get into that. Number 4. In the kitchen trash can of the home were sheets. There was pillowcases and sheets in the trash can in the kitchen. On the sheet that is in the trash can, you can clearly see makeup transferred onto the sheets. And if you look at these are in the video, and you can see the if you watch the video and do the still photo, frame by frame and slow it down, you can see in those photos there is a clear outline of what looks like lips, or lipstick transfer on the sheets, and then a smudge that would be upper, maybe about cheek level from where the lips would be. My opinion is, I think he used the sheet to hold over the top of her, and then he straddled her. This way she would not be able to strike, fight back. And then he choked her over the top of those sheets. Kind of like what he said he did with the girls. He smothered them by and then put the blanket over their faces so he didn't have to see their faces as he choked them to death. I think he did the same thing with Shanann, but for upper body, so she couldn't move her arms to defend herself against him. That would mean that the sheets were off the bed. Maybe they were. Maybe they stripped the bed and then they fell back asleep after having that sex. Because maybe there was trace amounts of semen transfer onto the sheets, and they'd stripped the bed, and that they were on the chair next to the bed, and then he used that to hold her down so she couldn't defend herself. It would be more plausible that happened than opposed to her laying there and just praying and saying, you know what, I forgive the guy who's choking me to death right now. Okay, go ahead, just keep on choking me to death. It doesn't make any sense. Number 5, Cece's favorite blanket. We're going back to that. In all the photos that I've seen, except for a couple, Cece's favorite blanket is a pink blanket that was made of alpaca, fur, and cotton. It was a gift from her grandmother. Pink. He said that he covered the girls or smothered them, whichever version of, because he kind of twisted around on the same thing, that he covered their faces up with Cece's blue Yankees blanket. Which one is it? Is it the pink alpaca and cotton blend blanket, or is it the Yankee blanket? Or did Cece carry that pink blanket with her out to the truck, and then he walked back from the truck after getting them in the truck, through the garage, through the house, up the stairs, and then into Cece's bedroom to grab another blanket, and then repeat the process down the stairs, through the house, through the garage, get in the truck, and then drive there with the inevitable blanket that he would cover their faces up with. Again, no blue fibers, no pink fibers, no hairs, Nothing transferred to either one of the two girls. So which one is it, Mr. Watts? Did you suffocate them at home with a pillow that makes more sense? Or did you take them alive in the truck, dump your wife, and then take each girl as they were and suffocate them inside your truck, and then carry them to the top of the tank, and then dispose of them and stomp them through that opening with your boot? I would like to know the answer to that, Mr. Watts. That is 5. That is 5 of the 17 things from his statements to detectives and the FBI that do not forensically match evidence that is known in this case right now. That is 5. The rest are insignificant omissions and errors in his statements, but those 5, forensically, everyone out there can see that information online right now today. They don't even have to ask me where I got the evidence from. These are well-known facts, and they don't forensically match what he said happened in this case. Well, you stay safe out there. And thank you again for stopping by. Don't forget, at the end here, you can go see a link to my Patreon. I'd appreciate it if you'd stop by, take a look at it, and support me on Patreon. You can do it for as little as $1 and up. And I really would appreciate the support.